Lexie Carver's return is not just a shock, it is the kind of Salem earthquake that can break a family wide open. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, May 11th put Lexie right at the center of the chaos after she suddenly appears at the will reading reception. One moment, everyone is gathered around the DiMera drama. The next, a woman Abe Carver believed was gone forever steps out of a secret passageway and turns the entire room upside down. And that is the real heart of this story. Lexie is alive, but nobody is ready for what that means. E.J. DiMera and Theo Carver already knew there was a chance this could happen. They knew Lexie was not simply a memory. They knew Dr. Wilhelm Rolf's experiment was happening behind the scenes, but even they were not prepared for this moment to explode in front of everyone. Knowing a secret is one thing, watching that secret walk into a room full of stunned guests is something completely different. For EJ, this could become a dangerous moment. He may try to control the explanation. He may point to Dr. Rolf's medical experiment and frame Lexie's return as something Stefano DiMera would have wanted. That kind of explanation makes sense in a DiMera world, where impossible science and buried secrets have always been part of the family's darkest power. But for Abe, none of that makes the shock easier. Abe thought Lexie was gone. He lived with that grief. He carried that loss. So when Lexie suddenly appears alive, his reaction may not be simple joy. It could be disbelief first, pain second, then confusion, then the emotional weight of realizing that other people may have known more than he did. That is what makes this Days of Our Lives spoilers story so powerful. Lexie's return is not only about survival, it is about secrecy. It is about trust. It is about a father, a husband, and a family being forced to face the truth in the most public way possible. Lexie herself may be the most confused person in the room. She has just awakened from this resurrection situation, and she does not understand what has happened. She does not know why everyone is staring. She does not know what pieces are missing. Everyone else is reacting to her return, but Lexie is waking up inside a mystery she never asked for. That gives the scene a painful emotional balance. Everyone wants answers from Lexie, but Lexie needs answers from everyone else. And then there is Theo. Abe may notice that Theo does not look quite as shocked as everyone else. That one detail could change the whole emotional direction of the room. Because if Abe realizes Theo knew something, then Lexie's return becomes more than a miracle. It becomes a secret his own son kept from him. Theo may admit that he knew about the experiment. He may have to explain why he stayed quiet. And even if his reasons were emotional or complicated, Abe could still feel betrayed. A secret this big is not easy to forgive in one conversation. That is where the emotional stakes rise. Abe is not just seeing Lexie again, he may also be discovering that he was left outside the truth. For Days viewers, this is classic Salem pressure. A miracle arrives, but it comes wrapped in lies. A family gets hope, but that hope brings questions no one is ready to answer. And for Lexie, the next chapter begins with confusion instead of peace. Meanwhile, Dr. Wilhelm Rolf will realize Lexie is no longer in the bed where she had been recovering. That discovery is important because it shows how uncontrolled this situation has become. Rolf may have been part of the science behind Lexie's return, but he clearly did not manage the timing. Lexie's awakening has escaped the private world of secret tunnels and hidden experiments. Now the truth is standing in front of everyone, and once a DiMera secret becomes public, nobody can fully contain it. That is why Lexie's awakening takes center stage in Monday's DOOL spoilers. This is not a small surprise. It launches the next chapter of a major storyline. It forces EJ, Theo, Abe, and Lexie into a situation where emotion and explanation collide. But Salem does not pause for one crisis. Even while Lexie's return dominates the room, other problems are already moving in the background. Tony DiMera will also have a proposition for Gabi Hernandez. Once the initial chaos settles, Tony wants Gabi to consider becoming the new CEO of DiMera Enterprises. That is a huge offer, especially coming from a DiMera, but for Gabi, trust is the real issue. She may wonder why she should believe Tony this time, and that question matters because power at DiMera Enterprises is never simple. A CEO position may sound like a victory, but inside the DiMera world, every offer can come with strings, pressure, and hidden risks. Gabi is not someone who should accept power blindly. She understands ambition, she understands manipulation, and she knows that a DiMera proposal can look like an opportunity while also becoming a trap. So while Lexie's return brings emotional shock, Tony's offer brings corporate tension. The family is dealing with a miracle in one corner and a power move in another. That contrast is what gives Monday's Days of Our Lives updates a layered feeling. The DiMera family is not just facing the past, they are also trying to shape the future. And Gabi may now be pulled into that future in a very big way. But the question is simple. Is Tony offering Gabi real power, or is he offering her a role inside another DiMera game? While Lexie's return shakes the DiMera mansion, Kristen DiMera's world may be cracking in a very different way. Days spoilers say Kristen will have a horrible Sophia Choi vision that leaves her rattled. She has already dreamed about Sophia before, but this new moment may go further. It may feel more like a hallucination, and if that is what happens, it raises serious concerns about Kristen's mental state. Kristen is not usually easy to shake. She is intense, she is emotional, she can be dangerous when she feels cornered. But a frightening vision is different from a normal confrontation. It suggests something inside her is becoming harder to control. And that matters because Kristen's fear does not stay quiet. When Kristen is rattled, the people around her often feel the consequences. The Sophia vision does not need to be over-explained to be disturbing. The important point is that it affects Kristen deeply. It unsettles her. It signals that her mind may be under pressure. And in Salem, emotional pressure can push a character toward decisions they might not make in a calmer moment. So while Lexie's storyline is the main explosion, Kristen's vision is like a warning light flashing in the background. Something is wrong, and it may get worse before it gets better. At the same time, Dr. Rolf may stumble onto another problem underground. He might catch Kat Green and Leo down in the tunnels, and if that happens, he could rat them out to EJ. That puts both Kat and Leo in danger of facing consequences for being somewhere they were not supposed to be. EJ will quiz Kat, but she will manage to talk her way out of trouble. That detail says something important about Kat. She may be under pressure, but she can think fast. She can handle a tense moment without completely falling apart. In Salem, that skill can be the difference between escaping suspicion and becoming the next target. Leo will not be so lucky at first. He will be in hot water for trespassing, and given everything happening around Lexie, the secret passageway, and Rolf's experiment, trespassing in the wrong place at the wrong time could look very serious. But Chad DiMera will step in and play rescuer for his friend. Chad will make Leo's problems go away, at least for now. That rescue may not be the biggest storyline of the episode, but it still matters. It shows Chad choosing to help, it gives Leo a way out, and it keeps the tunnel drama from swallowing the episode whole. Still, the real weight remains with Lexie, because once people learn that Lexie has awakened, everything else becomes secondary. The will reading reception was already tied to DiMera tension, but Lexie's entrance changes the entire meaning of the gathering. Suddenly, this is no longer just about inheritance, family positioning, or old grudges. It becomes about a woman returning to a life that has moved forward without her. That is emotionally heavy. Abe has to face the impossible. Theo may have to answer for his silence. EJ may have to defend the choices made in secret. And Lexie has to stand in the middle of all of it, trying to understand what happened to her and why everyone else seems to know pieces of the story she does not. That is what makes this DOOL spoilers episode feel so important. It is not only about the shock of someone coming back. Days of Our Lives has done impossible returns before, but this one lands inside a very personal emotional circle. Abe's grief, Theo's secret, EJ's explanation, and Rolf's experiment all collide at once. And when secrets collide in Salem, they rarely leave people untouched. Tony's offer to Gabi adds another layer of uncertainty. If Gabi becomes the new CEO of DiMera Enterprises, that could shift the balance of power. But the timing is messy. Lexie's return may change the mood around the family. The DiMeras may be dealing with emotional fallout, just as they are also trying to make business moves. That creates a fascinating tension. Can a family make smart power decisions while standing in the middle of emotional chaos? And can Gabi trust an offer that comes from the same world where secrets are always waiting under the floorboards? Kristen's disturbing Sophia vision adds even more unease. While everyone else may be reacting to Lexie's return, Kristen's private unraveling could create its own danger. A rattled Kristen is never something to ignore, and if these visions continue, her next move could become unpredictable. But Monday's center is clear. Lexie's awakening is the moment everything turns. It brings hope, shock, guilt, confusion, and betrayal into the same room. It gives Abe a miracle, but not a simple one. It gives Theo a truth to face. It gives EJ a secret to explain. And it gives Lexie a life she must now try to understand again. That is why this chapter feels so big for Days of Our Lives. A return like this does not just bring someone back, it forces everyone else to reveal who they were while she was gone. So now the question is, what will hurt Abe more? The shock of Lexie being alive, or the truth that Theo and EJ knew more than he did? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for daily Days of Our Lives spoilers, recaps, and updates.